All right, this is practice 2-2. Before we start, something that's helpful when working with decimals is to write out your place values so that you remember the order and the names of them. So starting from the decimal, moving to the left, which gets 10 times greater. Each jump gets 10 times greater when you go this way. And when you go this way, it gets 1/10 as great. We have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and so on. And when you move to the right, we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and so on that way. So first, we're taking the word form and we're writing it as a decimal. So 6,315, 6,315. We filled all of our decimal places here. And indicates the decimal, 2/10. Tenths is our first decimal place after the decimal. Whatever word it says at the end, that's the place value you have to stop in. So 2/10. No more numbers. You stop right there. Next, 25,300 and, okay, so right after 300, that's when you need your decimal. So we only fill the 10,000s, the thousands, and the hundreds place. We're not filling these place values, so you put your zeros. The and means the decimal, 12 hundredths. 12, 1, 2, hundredths, we're stopping in the hundredths place. Let's take a look at the rest. 9/10, hopefully that one was a little easier. 4 thousandths. 1/10, hundredths, thousandths, we're stopping right there. 9 hundredths. Tenths, hundredths, good. This zero here, it doesn't change the value. It just, so you could put as many zeros this way as you want. You didn't write that zero, that's also fine. It's just helpful to remind you that the place value is there. Down here, I was a little concerned about if we'd be able to read this, but it looks okay. So remember, the relationship between fractions and decimals is that they are both parts of numbers. And the fraction bar, so the line in between the numerator and the denominator, also means divide. So 364 divided by 1,000, or shifting the numbers 3 places to the right, 3, gives you 0.364, or 364 thousandths. These mean the exact same thing. Okay? Take a look at those. Here, it gives us a mixed number, so you write that as a whole number with a decimal part. Yeah, I think those are pretty self-explanatory. We did some of these on Zoom, for those of you that have met me on Zoom, and we did a really nice job with these. So this just reinforces the relationship between fractions and decimals, and it forces your brain to convert or change between the two. So great job. And then down here, it says circle the value that is not equivalent. Equivalent, the base here we have is equa, which means equal. So circle the value or the amount that is not equivalent to the other values. So first, I think it would be easier if I had a, So first we have, you can read it as point, but I would like you to read the values. So 7 and 100th, 7 and 10 thousandths, 7 and 1/10, 7 and 7.01, 7.01, 7.1, 7.0100. These zeros here change how you say it, but they don't change how much it's worth. This is $7.01. This is $7.01. This is $7.10. This is $7.01. So this one is not equivalent. Over here, 9 6/10, 9 6/100, 9 60/100, 9 60, that's a large number. Okay, 9.6, 9.06, 9.60, 9.6000. Remember, these ones, Don't alter the value. It's 9. I like to think about it in terms of money because that's what works for my brain. $9.60, $9.06, $9.60, $9.60. That is less. The zeros in between the other digits change the value. Down here, 49 3/10. The rest of these are some form of 49 3/100 because they have the 0 after the decimal point. So this one is not the same. Here, they're all a form of 24 6/10 except for this one, which is 24 6/100. You have to make sure you really look closely or else your eye might skip over a 0. Down here, I wrote that your answers will vary, but like we talked about up here, and you could use these as a sample, the zeros to the right of your digits don't alter the value. So I have 2/10, 20/100, 200,000, which all mean 20 cents, or they all mean the exact same amount, okay? Because when I write them as fractions, 2/10 looks like this. 20/100 looks like this. 200,000 looks like this. Now you might say, wait, but those are different fractions. They have different denominators. Aren't they different parts? Well, because you're fantastic mathematicians, you know that you have to put a fraction in its simplest form. So I'm going to write these next to each other so we can see them a little better. So 2/10, we could simplify that even more. Divide by 2, divide by 2, we'd have 1/5. Okay. So if we divided by 2 here, these numbers are 10 times greater because we have an extra 0. So what if I divide them by 20? Well, 20 divided by 20 is 1. 100 divided by 20, well, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 100 divided by 20, fast fact, add a 0. Oh, sorry, no, I messed up. Ignore what I just said. So, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we do 100 divided by 20. We've added a 10 to both sides. 100 divided by 20 is 5. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Just 20 times 5 is 100. Ignore my brain blurb. Lastly, 200 1,000ths. Well, we divided by 2, 20. Now we'll divide by 200 because they're still the same multiples. They're just larger by tens. And divided by 200. 200 divided by 200 is 1. 1,000 divided by 200 is 5. Because 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. So, all of these fractions, even though they look different, they're just not in their simplest form. So they're equivalent fractions because they are also equivalent decimals. So decimals and fractions mean the same thing. You add a 0 to the right in order to create a equivalent decimal. Down here, you can add a 0 to the right in order to create an equivalent decimal. Do you see the connection? Yes? No? Maybe so? All right, I'm just going to zoom this out a little bit. Hopefully you got a chance to check your answers. I'll just roll this down one more time. And you can pause the video wherever you need to in order to check your answers. Stay tuned for more of these practice sheet tutorials. Great job.